Okay, I want to show you guys how to set up your Trimble Access services and your Trimble Access Sync on your data collector. So easiest way to get to this Trimble Access services is to just put in my Trimble Access in Google and it pops this up. And this is the best way to get to it. So the other way you can get to it is in Trimble Business Center. You have Access Services, and you can get there through Trimble Business Center. So once you get there, you've got a new data collector. You're wanting to set up your Access Services. So you're going to go to Register Now, and you're going to go through the registration process. First thing it's going to ask you for is your serial number to your data collector. You can find that under About. If you go to Trimble Access, go to About. Right here is your serial number, but you're going to see your serial number there. Be sure to have that handy whenever you're setting up your Access Services. You're going to go in, you're going to do your registration. So one of the things it's going to ask you for is an organization and a password. And you might see it as like short name, I think maybe is what they call it. So in the administration side, everybody's Trimble Access Services is the same, and your username is going to be Site Manager. So the organization that you've chosen, you want to be sure to use that. Now you want to write this stuff down when you're setting everything up so that you remember your organization and your password. It's almost like having two passwords, just the way it's set up. You'll see why later on, why you have to have an organization. So mine is NEI-survey. My password, you need a capital letter, a lowercase letter, you need a symbol, in my case $signs, and you need a number. And that's the way the encryption works. So good example, that would be password 1. So I could do password capital P, $signs for the S's, number 1, and that could work as password. But it's this heavy encryption thing that they want you to use. So I'm going to sign in as Site Manager. Now I've got this set up for the sales team. So what we're going to see under the administration is all my different choices. So I've got Getting Started, which you can go through the guide, and it can show you, it'll walk you through how to get set up. So this whole guide walks you through how to get in, how to get set up, log into the site. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you real quick here. We're going to go to Manage Users. So I'm going to add a user, username, we'll just call it NEI Surveyor. Password is same password. I recommend you use same password for everything with this Access Services, all the way down to your data collector. You need to use the same password just to make your life easy. Once an email, and we are on Central Time. Next. Okay, so now I can create a user. So once I've got the user created, now I have to go to a site. So I've already created one called NEI Video, but you'll notice we've got some different sites. So if I go over here to NEI Video and I see default site and I see allow access, so I can say I want to allow access to this one, and let's say I also want to have access to this one. So two different sites. Now these sites could be job names, projects that you're working on. It could even be, if you want to use one username and password, you could even allow different people access to different sites. So like maybe Crew 1, Crew 2, Crew 3, each one of those could be sites. It just depends on how you want to set it up. I've played around with this quite a bit, and there's just all kinds of variations that we can do with this thing. While it's creating my access to the site, so if I go to Manage Sites, you're going to see that I've got these sites in here that we just looked at. I just gave permission to NEI Surveyor to that site, and it's NEI Video. So if I wanted to, I could just add a site. So if I add a site, I create the site name, the short name, and the description. Usually I just call all of them the same. So we're going to cancel out of that. We're going to go back to Manage Users. And NEI Surveyor should be associated with NEI Video. Okay, so now what we've done is we've done the administration side of setting this up. So we created a username with a password, and we've created a site. So now let's log out here real quick. So now then, our username is going to be NEI Surveyor, my organization, NEI Survey, and then the same password that I've been using. Okay, so now, since I've set this new user up and everything, here's the terms of use. This is totally separate from the email that I was talking about when you register that you get. So here's the terms of use for using this thing. So we're going to log in, and you're going to see it's going to look a little bit different. So okay, so now Remember, I gave access to two different sites. I gave access to Fieldwork and NEI Video. So where's my data going to the site? I'm going to say NEI Video is the one I'm going to use. Okay, so you can see here I've got some different choices. So I want to manage files, and this is the cloud where everything's going to. So all the data from the data collector is going to go to here. So when I log in the data collector, this is where I'm going to. So I'm going to go online, NEI Survey, NEI Surveyor. Okay, one of the things that you also need to know is that username is going to be your file folder under Trimble Data on your data collector. Okay, so there we go. So now, remember I talked about creating the sites? I was talking about Fieldwork. I gave access to two of them. NEI Fieldwork and NEI Video. So whichever one you choose is where your data is going to. In our case, we want to choose Video. So I go to Next. So it's put me there. I go to Finish. So now all my data is going to go to there. But once I went to General Survey, it opened up Survey. Once it opened up Survey, then it created my folder. So now here's my folder where everything would go. Okay, so let's move this out of the way for now. So if I go to General Survey, I go to Jobs, I say New Job. We'll create something, Roberts Project, Arkansas North. Okay, so now let's say I go to Key In, I go to Points. Let's say I create a point. We all like 5,000 and 100 for a point, right? Store. Okay, so now I've created a point. It's in there. I've stored it. Now then, let me get this out of the way. And let's look over here and see what we have going on over here. You're going to see that there's nothing showed up yet. Well, the reason being is we've got to go over here to Access Sync. Okay, so there's one file in NEI Surveyor. So under NEI Surveyor, we've got one folder. So if I click on that, Roberts Project, that was the folder I created, right? So there's one in here. So let's sync it. So when I click on that, checking Surveyor, NEI Surveyor, it says, wow, that was fast. I guess because it only had one point in it. So if I go to History and look, it says it was sent. And here's the other things it was trying to send. So let's go back. You never want to close this out. You only want to minimize it. Okay? So now, let's go over here to NEI Surveyor and let's refresh. So here's the serial number. If you remember, that was the serial number for my emulator that I'm using to show you this. So there it is. And if we look under that, there's Robert's Project right there, job. So if I wanted to, right here, I could go in and I could download that file and stick it on my computer somewhere. Boom. Okay, so that's one way to get to it. So now then, what happens if I want to go the other direction? What if I want to send something to that same data collector? So if we go back and look at Access Sync here, so I want to send something to that project. Let's say I want to send this T02 file, maybe. We'll send it. So I'm going to submit that, and I'm going to send it to the data collector. So you can see it right there. There it is. Okay. So now, if we come over here, our data collector, and we go to Access Sync, and we look, you can see it sending the file up. Boom. So somewhere amongst all this stuff, that little thing will light up green and tell me that I have a new file. So it doesn't work quite the same with the emulator. So anyways, I created that point, and now it's back on the data collector. So now, if I go and look at NEI Surveyor, there's my data collector, there's my files. So I actually sent, by going to the field, I actually sent this up to here. Now here's another little trick, because this is all cloud-based, but you can also bring this back to your computer. In Trimble Business Center, there's a way to bring it back into Business Center, but I'll show you real quick. If you go in and you've got Trimble Access Installation Manager installed on your computer, so when you have Trimble Access Installation Manager, when you install it on your computer, in my case I've got an emulator set up, so it's going to look at my emulator and it's going to want to try to update it. But if you don't have a data collector plugged into it, you're going to see 3 separate files pop up. What I want to show you is that once you have that installed on your computer, while that is doing that, I want to show you what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a folder called Trimble TCCE. So what it's going to have is a Trimble Connected Community File Explorer. And that's the software we're looking for. That's going to pop up on your Trimble Installation Manager. That's going to be one of those 3 files I was talking about that you can go into. So if I go down here to there, and I go to there, and I click on it, you may not like me, I have too many things all going at the same time. Well, right here, we'll just do it this way. Okay, I'm logged on. So let's log off. That's why I was already logged on to it. So if I go to log on, it's asking me for that. So instead of Robert, we're going to put NEI Surveyor. Okay, once I've logged in, now then I can go to my computer. Now this doesn't work on a server, this only works on your C drive. So I'm going to create a new folder. You could call this survey data or whatever. In my case, I'm just going to call it NEI Surveyor so we know what it is. Okay, so once I click on it, once you install the TCC File Explorer, then I can go in, I should have this option, TCC File Explorer two-way sync. So I'm going to go into the two-way sync and I'm going to say, okay, I want to do NEI video and I want to sync to that file space. So I want to sync to that file space. So now here's NEI Surveyor. So you can see I've got that, and looky there. There's Robert's project and also that T02 file that I sent. So what's happening is by setting up that, my data is coming from here, but then from here it's going back down to my computer. So I don't have to go to this website, I can actually bring it back to my computer. I tried to go through this kind of quick so this video wouldn't be that long. I hope this made some sense. If you have any questions, call the office, 800-949-1446. Ask for Ala Shams or Robert Martin or Eric Bach, and one of us can walk you through it and set that pretty easily. We also have got some documentation that we can send you, or we can send you this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.